to be able to come together with people who I've never met before, but I mean, I'm still familiar with your schools. It's just totally a unique experience.
I've read a lot of things online, but hearing some very real stories from people like right next to me, that's something that will stick with me.
How much this group would help me deal with whatever else was going on at the moment.
I feel more comfortable when it comes to talking with people about these issues, and especially the amount of, I don't know, change that I've gone through, in the sense that, you know, when I go to parties or something, I am a lot more vigilant, making sure that I'm still carrying on what we've talked about in these discussions.
And so I have these two things, and growing up it was so hard for me to develop an identity, because I have my school and my friends expecting me to behave one way and look at the world in one way, and then my parents looking at the world another way, and trying to reconcile those two things and trying to figure out where I stood in the midst of all of this. And it's been hard, it's been difficult. And so this is an environment where I feel like I'm listened to, and I feel like I don't have to put up any sort of facade, or I feel like I don't have to pretend to be anything I'm not, or hold an opinion that I don't. And that's it's so comforting to have that. To an extent, I sort of feel like not ostracized, but I definitely feel a divide, and I do feel different at my school. I feel like I don't super belong. And here, I do feel like I belong, and that's really nice.
To fully understand things that are going on with you and process those things, you need to be able to share them, or at least that's my opinion. If you can't connect, if you can't feel that comfort level in any environment, and therefore share what you're going through and what you're thinking, those ideas and passions aren't going to be able to mature in the same way.
What's really important to me is that there's people around me who are concerned with what I have to say, and really taking that into account and think about what I've said and respond to what I've said. I think this group has sort of set up that forum really well.
The main difference between something being youth-led versus adult-led is really where it can go and its ceiling. Adult-led, as much as anyone might want to say it's a discussion, it almost always ends up being a lecture. Mm-hmm. And that applies to ceiling. Because as many times as we might have been told to clean up our rooms, and I've been told probably 100, I'm probably less likely to do so than if my friends all come over and start making fun of me for having a dirty room.
That's true.
Kids talking about something makes it more real for other kids.
It's not that I don't respect adults' opinions as much. I just really value my peers' opinions, because they're the people I talk to all day long. They're the people I associate with, and they're for the most part the people I really trust. So having a student-led group or a kid-led group or whatever makes me that much more excited about participating in a conversation, and that much more encouraged to keep going to the conversations.
Well, it's also really empowering too, because you see, if you're in an environment where there are only young people talking, you can look at a person who's your age and say, look at where they are in their development as a human being, and you can be like, whoa, I want to be like that. It's not it's so much more attainable when you see a young person doing something amazing.
When you have adults running groups and discussions like this, there is kind of an immediate hierarchy that's created, and it's I reign supreme up here, and it's you guys, I'm leading you guys, which doesn't make sense. If these are the issues that are affecting our lives, we should definitely be the ones guiding and leading this conversation.
I felt gratitude, I think, was the strongest emotion. That just kept popping up for me, especially when people went outside I don't know if outside their comfort zone or outside what they normally would in a normal conversation.
Things like this are important to talk about, and I didn't feel like I was the only one who wanted to talk about it.
I kind of felt a sense of activism working inside of me. After these different groups we had, I would kind of go back and just start thinking about other things that we never talk about, and it's you need to have these conversations no matter how uncomfortable they are. So it's kind of pushing me to push myself out of my own comfort zone and help kind of others and speak about issues that need to be addressed but aren't.
The experience made me more aware of how important these issues actually are. Like, we might talk about them at school or kind of like know, like, oh, consent, like kind of throw around the idea, but hearing from others how these issues play out in their own lives, and like when people share personal stories, like that hits you hard.
I knew what they had gone through, and I had gone through similar situations, and so there's that instant connection with someone that you don't know very well. So I would say that Give Us the Floor really is the only environment where I felt like really at home and really comfortable.
You figuring out issues in your life with a bunch of kids and not being told what those issues mean by an adult.
And discuss pretty heavy topics that, you know, adults don't necessarily let us, you know, give us the ability to talk about, and really connect with teens, which I feel like that is the most important part, is connecting with people who are like you, which is unlike kind of any other organization and program.
If your peers are the ones inspiring you, then that light goes on and change can really take place.
I want to tell my friends that you're not going to feel alone, because everyone is probably going to come up with a situation that was similar to yours.